Hi everyone, my name is Julia and I'm one of the videographers with Saltways, and today I'm here to talk with you about editing. So editing is one of the final stages of the production process, and it's where we take everything that we've filmed, the audio we've recorded, the graphics we've maybe designed, and we put it all together into an edit that we can then share on our website, on our social media, on YouTube, whatever we want to do with it. This is a really important part of the process, and I think sometimes it can be a little bit daunting, uh, and part of the reason for that is that we set some really high expectations of like this perfect production we want to put together, sort of like a Hollywood style production, and really it can be something really simple. One big thing that we believe is that being authentically you is really the most important thing, and that's really what the viewers want to see. They don't want to see us be perfect and have like the fanciest transitions or whatever. They just want to get to know you and what makes your organization different from others. um, so that's something really important to keep in mind, to really help that guide your content, and and not striving for perfection. I think when it comes to editing, perfection really isn't our friend. And it's almost important to always keep that in mind, that if it's not perfect, first of all, if you film something and you're not happy with it, you can always do it again. If you want to put together, a video series and you do it and you don't like it, see it as a learning experience. Um, but let's go through it point by point. So, first of all, it doesn't have to be perfect. Some of the most successful videos that you see online do not have perfect lighting, they don't have perfect audio. um, what they have is something unique, and something that's really different or really creative. And so I think being creative is so much more important than having perfect lighting, for example, even though it's nice to have perfect lighting. But I don't believe it's the most important thing. um, so also, yeah, also just with that, just being in the moment and capturing the moment, I think that's also something that really makes videos stand out. So I would say, for example, if something really unique is happening, I wouldn't worry about, oh, I have to grab the microphone, before I can interview this person, or I have to get, my DSLR camera. No, I think if something is happening in the moment and it's worth capturing, I would just capture it. And yeah, and it's also to be said that not every video has to be edited. Quite a lot of times, you might just capture 30 seconds of something happening and you can just share it as it is to your social media. um, and that is a totally valid thing to do. Where the editing comes in really handy is where, for example, we have maybe a lot of long clips, or maybe it's a big event and we have like three different people filming, and we want to condense it down to like a 1 minute video that really shows all the different things that were happening, and and can engage the viewer in a better way. That's where editing can come in really, really handy and be really, really useful. But yeah, so most importantly, um, be yourself, be authentically you. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you don't like it, you can do it again. Um, so always, always see it as a learning experience. If something doesn't work out, you might still be able to post it. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but at the same time, you might see it as a learning experience. And next time you film it, you might do something different. Another important point is that making good video content doesn't have to take the fanciest equipment, investing lots of money into lots of different, I don't know, electronic things that you might involve. It can be a really simple setup, and And especially nowadays, if you have a phone, if you have maybe just a couple of simple things like a clip-on mic that you can get fairly affordably, and maybe a lighting setup can obviously elevate your content, but at the same time it's not like you need to spend like 2 grand to be able to create good content. I think that's definitely something good to keep in mind. Again, creativity wins every time over fancy equipment, and yeah, even like with editing skills, I think like a creative edit um, can be, yeah, it's definitely a winner. And yeah, and lastly, most importantly, we're learning from every experience. And I think every videographer I know says the same thing, that we're learning on every shoot that we do, every edit that we do. We look back and we're like, oh, actually I should have filmed more b-roll there. That's usually the main thing, is that when we're doing a shoot and then we're editing, a lot of times we look back and we say, oh, I could have done with more b-roll of this part of the shoot. I could have maybe done another interview here, or I could have done the setup slightly different here. And so every time we do a shoot, we learn from it, and we'll take it to the next project that we're doing, and we'll every time we try to do a little bit better.